You think you'll be in Poland for a long time?
Yes, I think so. I think so. Because the war is not finished yet.
This series of buildings in southwest Warsaw used to be an expo centre, a conference centre. Today, there are no delegates, only the desperate, only refugees. Living together, a town within a city, at any given time, up to 6,000 of them.
The scale of this place is something else. Look at this. It's like supermarket, Tesco warehouse or something.
But for all the charity, for all the sense of rest at last, this is a hall of horrors hanging over each head.
I saw, yes, one woman came from Kazakhstan and they just killed in car.
The
Russian
shot
yeah.
her
Shot her.
in her car?
In her car, yes. A woman and her children is died.
And you saw that?
Yes. They just like animals. Genocide, of course.
5 million have now fled Ukraine. Nearly 3 million have come to Poland, mostly its big cities. Many hoped that by now they may have been able to go home, but increasingly thoughts turn to a longer stay.
Уехала 2 недели назад. Людей практически нет. Все в основном или прячутся, или повыезжали. Вообще не знаю, что нас ждет. Если некуда будет возвращаться, то мы не знаем, что нас ждет и вообще как это будет все. Пойти на работу. Ну, сначала ребенка оформить в школу. Да. Пойти на работу в Польше. И собирать какие-то деньги, как говорится, на жилье.
So stay here for a long time?
Да.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's hard to overstate just how much Warsaw has been transformed in just 2 months. Today, around 1 in 7 of its residents are refugees. Everywhere you look, there's a new building, a queue, a service here or there, places to deal with the flow, and now enormous stock of arrivals.
This reception centre was established on the 26th of March. It's the newest reception centre in Warsaw.
International organisations abound. The Norwegian Refugee Council is now a permanent presence to try and relocate refugees, often sceptical about moving too far.
The truth is that accommodation is a massive problem because cities are running out of space to put people in. We're also very much worried that, right now, 2 months into the war, people hosting refugees, the outpour of solidarity was massive. People were taking in, refugees into their homes. But we're very much worried that after 2 months of someone staying on your couch, of course, there needs to be a more sustainable solution.
In other words, the idea of what an expanded forever conflict might look like, not far from the heart of Europe, all that might entail, now occupies refugee and those who would care for them alike.
How long do you think the war is going to last?
Я очень надеюсь, что это скоро закончится. Это будет, наверное, не 1 год еще. Может быть, не война, но такое вялотекущее противостояние будет, к сожалению. Может, я не права, но мне так кажется. Он нас не оставит в покое, не оставит Украину в покое, пока мы ее не уничтожим.
This place is a very different setting in Warsaw. It's very grand, but it's exactly the same theme, talking about how this city copes long term.
It's that long term which the mayor is pleading with European leaders to sort.
If we are to have a second wave of refugees, most of our cities like Warsaw are at capacity. We need a European strategy to deal with the problem.
And what would that strategy look like?
First of all, we need a relocation system, a voluntary relocation system, because we need to share the burden in an organized way. I haven't seen a dime from the EU yet, but of course the money goes directly to the government. And the central government just paid a few bills, which were just bills of the hour, such as transportation of refugees or food for refugees. But those are relatively small sums. When you talk about preparing the city of the size of Warsaw for for an increase of 15% in its population, then the costs are enormous and they go into millions and millions of euros.
Not far away, some of those euros are being paid by the UNHCR to hundreds who queue for money. And as the war grinds on, the reality of being a refugee for the long term leaves some wondering if they can meet the daily challenges of a life uprooted.
For us, it's very hard to be settled quickly. It's very difficult to be settled here. So, because we can't able to find the jobs here, because we don't know Polish, we only know English.
And there must be a lot of people like you looking for work.
Yes, so much, and you can also see that so many Ukrainians also flying back to Ukraine. Like every day, 20,000 people flying back to Ukraine because they are getting out of money. They don't have accommodations.
War is abnormal, even in this part of Europe which has seen it so often. But if this phase of this war endures for more months, for years yet, if it comes and goes in fits and starts, this part of Europe, all of Europe, will have to confront a new normal, the management and integration of millions of its own, not just with food and shelter, but lives fully lived.